I am excited about the opportunity that you're affording me to work with MindTap Math Foundations this summer. I've got an intermediate algebra course that I've slated for pilot purposes to go through and evaluate a number of student engagement levels with this new product. And as you well know, I'm quite the user of WebAssign, but more importantly, why would I use MindTap Math Foundations? And so I guess to really say that the learning objectives that are offered in MindTap Math Foundations is a comprehensive array of what I'm interested in my students painting as a portfolio. Now, there's more compelling reasons than that, but what's important at this stage is that I'm trying to figure out how can I get all my students to master the content, not only at pre-algebra, beginning algebra, intermediate algebra, the developmental level courses. I want them to do it in a manner that will set the stage for them to develop two strands of proficiency, both procedurally and conceptually. And the whole package at which MindTap Math Foundations has offered the learning objectives that I want them to complete is more than just an adaptive array. It's going to allow me to paint the complete portfolio of their mastery. And we're changing the way that we're going to assess that. It's not going to be just simply on an assignment by assignment basis, nor is it going to be simply just a collection of a portion of questions that are going to be wrapped up in a quiz or a test. The idea here is something that's been around for quite some time, actually with some of the earlier works of WebAssign, where Aaron Titus and others who were the initiators of that product were putting it to the test and still kind of pushing it at their own institutions. The idea is around the percentage of competencies that students complete, not the individual questions that they might encounter in a product such as an online assessment homework. So the idea here is that you've set the stage with MindTap Math Foundations in a way that paints the learning objectives each student must master. There's a basic default that I expect them to attain, but there's also the ability for them to go back and review, master it to the level of proficiency that that tool, that MindTap Math Foundations provides. And so there's the user interface that helps all of this then come together. So the overarching goal, I want to use those learning objectives, the 280 plus that are at my disposal. I want to paint that complete picture for my students to achieve. And then I'm going to be assigning the assessment, the grade, the impact of mastery based on the number of objectives that they actually complete, not just a sampling of questions that they might have encountered through different assessments. With that, we're going to use the gaming features. I've been using that in the online assessment tool as I've been using WebAssign, and I'm seeing the positive results of the engagement that that affords. I'm also using a lot of other third-party embedding inside of WebAssign that allows me to engage in their writing, their conceptual thinking. Well, guess what? As you well know, MindTap already embeds and makes that a one-stop solution. The next thing that really drives this home for me to finally make that leap is the grading engine. It's not discussed much in your marketing literature, but it turns out the grading engine that's in MindTap Math Foundations, from what I put the test to, is going to give me the math fidelity that will allow that student to continue on their progression of mathematical learning in the types of tools like WebAssign, for example. So I have that seamless migration as they go on to become engineering students or they go on to take their calculus courses. I'm able to make that leap already setting the stage with what's available in MindTap Math Foundations. So I've got all those components that are basically allowing me the convenience as a faculty member to put out there the step-by-step support, all those resources that are well known within the number of venues that I've seen it demonstrated over the last year. There are a few extra components, one most compelling to me as I start to roll this out with adjunct faculty and start talking about how they can adopt and use it, is it turns out there are a number of lesson plans that are spelled out specifically in MindTap Math Foundations for them to roll out their instructional efforts right there alongside the product. It's embedded as a resource that's making it easier for adjuncts to follow a script or follow a pathway that helps complement that which they might use with their students, a stepwise approach. So these are some of the things that I'm excited about. I like the communication tools, the whiteboarding features, as you might suspect, given some of my past presentations. I believe all that's going to lead to that confidence that I want in my students to show that they've mastered the material, to create the complete portfolio, not just one that's been adapted for them. I want them to demonstrate their mastery of content, content they might already bring to the table, but also that which they're learning anew, completing the portfolio of what they know going on to their levels of mathematical education. So those are some of the insights that I want to share with you. Now, as far as my effort this summer with the pilot, it's an intermediate algebra class. We're going to coincide it with some data comparisons. I'm looking at ACT subscores of math. I'm looking at AccuPlacer, PlaceU. I've got a lot of different things that are going into this that connect the data and show how well MindTap Math Foundations will correlate to students placing at the next level, as I suspect it will.